So James, we're back at NodeConf live.
In person. Yes.
It feels so good to be back. You can feel the energy, right? Everybody just has a huge smile and
but at the same time, it's people around people again.
Around people, right?
It's so awkward. I got to
mixed feelings, but
gotta learn how to do this again. Yeah,
yeah,
totally
exactly right. We lost the habit and our good manners. So tell me about your talk at NodeConf.
Oh yeah, so my talk, I was going through a few different ideas and everything, and right about the time I was like, okay, really about a month ago, I'm like, okay, what I need to settle on my talk. What do I want to talk about? There was a bug that I added to Node, inadvertently a couple of years ago and stuff, and it started coming out like, okay, what was this? Yeah, there was some investigation on it, and it turns out, I screwed things up.
That never happens, right?
So, no, of course. And so I started looking at how to fix it, but I was busy doing other things. So my son went and opened the pull request and got it all fixed and landed it. So
your son did the bug fix for your bug?
Yeah.
Wow. And how old's your son?
He's 16 years old.
16, wow.
Yeah.
And that was his first PR
first
on
PR
Node
to Node, and we just landed his second PR about an hour and a half ago.
Wow.
So
it's like a family tradition.
Yeah.
Node Core.
Yeah, multi-generational.
Multi-generational Node contributors. I love that.
It's fantastic.
Well, it's such an important part of the community. It's like everybody's welcome, right?
Yeah.
And I love seeing you bring your family in. Yeah. And it's just like a warm and welcoming place, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, the craziest thing is so many parents are like worrying, what is their kid doing online, right? I go in and check on him, and he's allocating a heap implementing a heap allocator.
Just continue on.
You're fine. I don't have
to
worry much, and just very proud of him and stuff. And I got to have him at the Node Collaborator Summit the other day.
Which was just a couple days ago here in Dublin.
And just sitting there and, he's participating and talking through and taking things in and just,
wow.
This is amazing.
It's kind of like handing down the keys to the shop or the...
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of nice. I mean, I kind of like this pattern. I introduce the bugs, he fixes them, it's a good...
I thought it was always just to be the inverse, but...
So...
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's really awesome. And what a great place, to bring your son and your family. That's why I love NodeConf is that family atmosphere, that community atmosphere, and it always feels so comfortable here. And there's been a lot of great talks this year.
Yeah, fantastic talks.
And workshops. It's always a quality event. This is my third NodeConf. How many have you been to?
Oh, all of them since 2015. I've lost count, 7 of them. So I've been here. And back 2015 is when we were doing them down at the Waterford Castle.
Okay, and before I was here at the Lyrath.
And been to the ones here at the Lyrath. And this place is gorgeous. I mean, walking around here, just everything there. So I
feel pretty amazing every day that I'm here. Every moment that I'm here, I feel very special. Yeah.
And I like the fact that in other conferences when they in Austin or Vancouver or whatever else, it's right in the middle of the city. So it's the people go, they attend the talks, but then everybody scatters.
Right. In the evenings, everybody goes back.
Everyone's gone.
Maybe there's a dinner, maybe not.
And here, there's nowhere to go. The city's a good few kilometers away, and so everyone's right here, and dinners and lunches and great conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely fantastic. So
it is one of the advantages of this conference is I was on the phone with my family and I was saying, I missed this thing in my suitcase. Why don't you just go to the grocery store and buy it? And I was like, I can't. I'm stranded here. There's worse places to be stranded, but that's what's so amazing because everybody's together.
Yep.
The whole time you're here, from the moment you get up to the moment you go to bed, you're just surrounded by these amazing people who care about Node.js.
Right.
Which who else would ever want to be surrounded by?
Really. Well, I mean, here, if you don't know somebody, you just turn around, you start talking to them. It's a great conversation.
Yeah, it's also a real intimate group. Everybody's super friendly, and it is a small enough group, which is the great part now that's being diffused online, so the community's growing.
Yeah, and it's not just the conference people, the conference organizers, even the hotel staff, the AV staff. I mean, I was talking to some of the guys in the back. It's just okay, this is good. I mean, this is I love the atmosphere and being back in person. We did it remote for a couple of years, and it was great. We were able to broadcast
keep
everything
the tradition
online,
going,
get it going. But there's just something about coming to the south of Ireland and
online conferences. I was so happy they kept going. It was honestly awesome opportunity for people who
Yeah.
like hadn't been on the stage yet because they could kind of work into that role
Yeah.
slowly.
And for people that they can't make it to the conference, it's like
Yeah.
in, I think it was April 2020 or May 2020, right when all the lockdowns and everything started. When I was at Nearform, we did this work from home conf. It was 24 hours around the clock. We had one speaker after the other going, and we had speakers from almost around the globe, right?
24-hour conference?
24-hour conference, one after the other, and they were all recorded. So if you missed one, because you were working or sleeping or whatever, you just watch it a little bit later in the day.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was amazing. And nobody had done anything, quite like that before. And then I remember like 3 months later, everyone was like, I'm so tired of online conferences.
That was like the final straw that broke the camel's back.
So it's getting back in person. Good thing. It's absolutely fantastic.
So you mentioned when you're working at Nearform. So what are you working on now? This is what I want to know. It's been 3 years since I think I've seen you in person. Well, I saw you a little bit at Nearform before.
Yeah. I left Nearform a little over a year ago. I'm at Cloudflare now. I'm on the workers team. So the edge workers stuff. What I'm primarily doing there is getting all of the support for the web platform standards kind of up to par. And when I started, they had implemented new URL and web streams and web crypto. Unfortunately, it's like they're there. None of them were really compliant with the specs at all.
Okay.
Right, and so causing some, it was causing some pain. So what I've been working on primarily is just getting those updated to where they actually conform to the specs.
Yeah.
And working with the other runtimes, so Node and Dino, and working with Shopify and Vercel, and getting these groups, kind of the non-browser groups together to focus on standards to make sure that it's like, okay, we're all going to implement web streams, right? Are we going to do it in a way that's consistent and compatible with each other, and kind of do all that? And it's been going fantastic. So
you're reaching out to these other companies and with Cloudflare to like agree on the standard and try to get the standards accepted and try to put some pressure on people to implement towards the standard. Also, that's the second half.
That and also to kind of put pressure on the standards bodies, so what WG and W3C, to care about the non-browser cases.
Okay.
So in every case, like web streams and web crypto and fetch and all of these were written with the browsers in mind. Right. And there's use cases that the server side have, or the edge, that don't exist in browsers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe those specs don't quite meet the needs of what the runtimes need. We're making them work, but usually with compromises here. So if we can get all the runtimes, the non-browser runtimes, to make the same compromises and implement the same sets of changes, then at least it makes things easier for all the developers.
In the right direction. Yeah, I saw a talk today about Fetch and Node, and how a browser API to begin with, and bringing that to Node has been this adventure for like almost 10 years. I think it's 7 or something. Trying to get in there, and they're going to drop the core support because you don't need cores on the server. And it's just this example of, we want those APIs that can run, they're standardized, it can run either on the server or on the client, but the use case isn't exactly the same.
Slight differences, slight variations. The fact that a browser tab is not typically shared by 1,000 users concurrently. Right?
It's a little difference.
It makes for some interesting challenges. And since what WG, if you look at their charter, and so it's no fault to anybody there. If you look at their charter, they say, we care about the web browser use cases. Right? That's what they're focused on. That's what they're chartered for.
Right. Makes sense. So
you can't fault them for caring about those.
Absolutely.
At least we're starting the conversation, and we're building this communication channel with them to where we can say, that's great, but Node has this other set of use cases, and Workers has this other set of use cases, and we kind of talked about it and come to agreement that could you do it like this instead? Right?
Absolutely.
And take that approach, and we're making progress. We're getting there.
So I have like an ignorant question. Like, if we want to talk about Cloudflare workers, like, what's the difference between a Cloudflare worker and like a serverless function? Or is it pretty much the same, just the runtime's a little bit different?
Runtimes are a little bit different.
Deployed?
Deployment model is a little different. The runtime's a little different. So if you think of like Lambda style serverless, right? I mean, that Lambda is still running in a node process, and
right.
It's not shared, right? It's you just have that one Lambda running in that one process.
Right.
And that works, but it's not necessarily as efficient, right? Because in order to serve a larger set of customers, you just need 10,000 node instances and all this kind of stuff. You need a lot of muscle to run it.
Right.
With workers, with our multi-tenant environment, right? We have in a single process we can serve all of our customers, right? And all of that code and all of those kind of smaller edge functions are running concurrently, all in one process.
Okay.
Makes it a lot more scalable for us.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, wow. These are some of the questions I've thought about with Cloudflare workers. Okay, so you're at Cloudflare, but I know you're also really involved in the OpenJS Foundation. Yeah. You're a member, right? So what do you do with the OpenJS Foundation?
So with OpenJS, over the years, roles kind of evolved. I was Node's chair on the foundation board for a while. I've been on the TSC, the Technical Steering Committee for Node, for many years. When the Node Foundation was launched, it's kind of involved in that whole process and going back. So it goes back quite a ways. Here recently, my activity's been like a lot less because I purposely, when I joined Cloudflare, it's a complex code base. I decided to step back, deep dive.
Makes sense when you're making a transition, like
right.
You got to compromise a little bit. Not compromise is the wrong word, but put your focus in the right place. Yeah.
I had a deep dive on it because I didn't want to split my attention too much and go for there. But I'm coming back into increasing that activity in Node and going back to my son. I'm going to push some of the activity over and encourage him to
push that on to the next generation too.
Absolutely.
Delegating. It's part of being a parent too, right?
Exactly. Yeah, there's I can't tell any of the other Node contributors what to do. I can tell one what to do.
There's always one that should listen. We'll
should.
Oh wow! So your son traveled over here with you to Dublin and now here to Kilkenny for the conference. And that sounds like an amazing way to spend some father and son time.
Yeah, that's a blast. I mean, it was an adventure getting here. He's getting the full experience. We had issues getting his passport to get over here. Like we got it the day before we actually flew out, and then he got
my goodness.
we had maintenance delays on the airport by 5 or 6 hours, and then we had a crying baby right behind us for 8 hours coming over.
Oh, wow.
He got the full experience. So it's a good trip.
It's been great chatting with you. I'm looking forward to seeing you at many more NodeConfs.
Oh yeah, I'll be here.
And I know I'm going to be seeing you in the community because you're such like a foundation, a pillar of the community. Oh. So it's really been an honor chatting with you, and just keep on doing what you're doing. And I love the fact that we're going to see that in the next generation.
Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.